Okay, so one of you guys asked me in the comment section, how do you keep calm during intense psychedelic trips? And there's a few things here I want to talk about, and I talked about all of them previously, but it never hurts to go at it again, because in order for us to understand something, we've got to repeat it to ourselves over and over and over. That's how the human mind-body complex works. So how do you control? Because that was actually the way you worded the question, is how do I control myself, I think, or something, during intense trips? And you used the word control, and I believe that is the first mistake right there, is that you try to control the trip. Because the minute you try to control it, you create resistance, and that leads to bad trips. And one of the key foundational cornerstones to having a blessed trip is to surrender to the experience, however the experience comes out to be. And sometimes it'll come in the form of intense emotional crying. I had one trip, I did it in the middle of the winter. It was January. Haven't seen the sun in like 8 days. And I was just not in a good state. And I cried for like an hour. It was like not the type of tears of joy and awe. It was just like tears of sadness. And then I started to feel the suffering of the world and everything. And I kept crying for like an hour. But I surrendered to the trip. I guess I had some experience in that regard, and so I understood that I have to surrender to whatever the experience is. And so I didn't try to control it in that sense. So it didn't turn out to be a bad trip. It turned out to be a sad trip, but not a bad trip. You understand? It wasn't a bad trip. A bad trip happens when you try to control it. Then you freak out. I wasn't paranoid. I was just crying. I wasn't paranoid. There was no paranoia at all. So when the paranoia sets in is when you try to control something. You try to control the trip. You've got tears coming up, but you're suppressing them. Or you've got some really intense revelations and you're suppressing them, and you get this urge, I want to go to nature, but then you don't do that. You end up staying in your room when you're supposed to. I mean, I had one trip again. It was like I took 6 grams, and it was like 9:30 p.m. and I just had this sudden urge to go to nature, and I did not think twice. I just put on my jacket and I went to nature. I went to the woods, and that was quite a trip. It's a 6 grammer. You can look it up. It's like 31 minutes long. If you'd like to watch that trip, I think it's called I don't know. Anyway. So you don't try to control anything. You just surrender. But then you have to do very good preparation so that you could surrender. I mean, if you have not prepared well, then let's say you go to a bar, for example, or you go somewhere where there's a lot of people, like a mall or something, and you do it. And then you surrender, I'm pretty sure your experience is going to be terrible. If you're going to do this in a mall or something, okay? It's probably not going to be pleasant at all. So if you don't do well preparation and you surrender, probably you're going to surrender to a pretty bad experience to begin with. So if you do good preparation, there is a very good chance that the trip's going to turn out just fine, and you're going to be able to easily and effortlessly surrender. So how do you prepare well? Well, I have a lot of videos on that. I have playlists. You could go watch the videos. But I really want to drive home something here. I want to emphasize on the importance of cleaning up your temple, cleaning up your body before a trip. I don't see too many people talk about it. They always say set and setting. Set is mindset. Setting is where you do it. Very important steps. But you have to understand that in order for your mindset to be in the right place, your body also needs to be in the right place. And if your body is dirty and you've been putting a lot of junk food in it, and you haven't got enough sleep, and you haven't really been taking care of the temple, and you've got a lot of tension and acidity in the body, it may turn out to be an unpleasant trip. And what might happen is you might, what the trip will sometimes make you do is, because you have so much tension inside your body, you'll start to do certain things in the trip to release the tension. So in that way, it can be helpful. But why don't you already go in prepared? Have your body very cooled out, very relaxed, very cleaned out. Put only pure foods in there, fruits and vegetables. Do some fasting before, some form of fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's juice fasting or water fasting. In the Amazon jungles, when you go and do an ayahuasca ceremony, you fast for days before. You have to take this very seriously. This is a sacred thing. Okay, you're opening yourself up. You're becoming a very, very open entity. Okay, so you want to open yourself up to the angelic and lighter realms. You don't want to open up yourself to the demons and the hungry ghosts. Okay, you want to, really, you've got to really do your preparation, folks. If you don't prepare well for a psychedelic trip, you're really playing around with fire. Now, it's one thing to play around with fire and know your way around fire. It's another thing to play around fire having never played with fire. Somebody who's not well prepared but has played with fire enough, they'll be okay. It's kind of like an elite athlete that is on top of his game, but have not been having a good night's sleep or good health for the last 2-3 days, but he still goes to the game, still does okay, still does well, even though he's tired, he's fatigued, he's overworked, but because he practiced so much, so he'll be okay. He won't put in the best performance, but he'll do okay. He'll get the job done, get her done, right? It's the same thing. If you have a lot of practice under your belt and you've done this often and you sort of know how to navigate your way through the spiritual realms, okay, maybe the best preparation, if you haven't done the best preparation, you'll still be okay. But if you don't know your way around these realms, they're massive and infinite. And you're really an open conduit when you do these things. You open yourself up, you become an open channel. Well, be aware. There's a lot of negative entities on this planet. It's been ruled by negative entities for long. It's only now that the scales are shifting more towards the light again. This is the duality, the yin and the yang. And so if you go to a mall or somewhere in society, good luck having a good trip there. Okay, because there's a lot of negative entities and spirits there. Ask any schizophrenic person who knows their shit. I know a few. When I say they know their shit, they understand that schizophrenia is actually a spiritual gift. And so I have one friend, a very, very dear friend of mine, a brother, who basically gone through schizophrenia, and he told me he used to see and speak and have all these interactions with these negative entities, like in downtown, or they're all around society. So make sure you either do it in your house where you're very, 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 very comfortable, and you set up the scene, some candles, you want your house to be clean, you want it to be orderly, you want it to be very comfortable, or go out in nature somewhere pure as possible. Okay, because that's where you find the angels and the lighter spirits, the ones that are going to actually help you evolve. So as I was saying, you have to really prepare for this. You have to do very good preparation, and I really want to drive home the importance of cleaning up your body. Do some form of fasting before this, and don't eat anything but fruits and vegetables for like a week straight. Fruits and vegetables a week before. do some fasting, some form of fasting, maybe a 3-day juice fast, maybe a 24-hour fast, 48-hour fast, something to clean up your body. You have to clean up your body, folks. If you go in with a dirty body, a tense body, the entire trip might be to relieve you from the tension and the stress. So you might find yourself in the trip like moving your head like this, and jumping up and down and doing all this stuff, because that's basically your body cleaning itself out. Now, if you go in already cleaned out, then you allow for a different type of experience to manifest. You understand? If you want to quote unquote control an intense trip, the control is before the trip, and that's adequate preparation. The set and the setting, and very important, the physical body, the temple. I do not know of a single monastery or church or mosque that is dirty, and I don't think you really will find any dirty mosque or church in the world, because these are sacred places and nobody will go there if they're dirty. Nobody will even go there. So that's why I say I do not think there is a single church or monastery, even in really like say poor places, that is dirty, because then nobody would go there, plain and simple. Nobody would go there, because even if you go to like a dirty neighborhood or something and you go walk into a mosque or a church, guarantee you it'll be clean. Guarantee you it'll be clean, because then nobody will go there. Because how can you pray in a stinky place, dirty stinky place with rats and mice and all kinds of things? You can't really pray there. And that's the same thing. If your temple ain't clean, how are you gonna pray? How are you gonna pray? It doesn't make sense. You have to shut your senses. But even then, why don't you just go pray in a clean place? So clean up your body before you do it, before you take psychedelics. Really clean up your body. Okay, if you clean up your body, your mind will subsequently be cleaned up as well. They go hand in hand, right? And like I said, the setting is very important. I prefer nature. You could do it at your home too. It's a good place. But every time I did it at home, I would just, as soon as the trip hits, I would just go to nature. Like I would just leave my house and go to nature. But you could do it at home too. Okay, you could do it at home. Just make sure you're very comfortable where you are, because if you're comfortable where you are, you can surrender. And during the trip, you want nothing at all. You don't even want to utter the word control, because you create resistance. You want to absolutely surrender and allow the trip to manifest as it is. Some tears might be shed and are often shed. They could be tears of joy and awe. They could be tears of sadness and compassion and empathy. And you go along with the ride, however it is. And often, definitely the case for me, most of the time, the overwhelming majority of the time is intense bouts of laughter, also known as the cosmic giggle. Okay, pure joy, pure, unrivaled, unbridled joy. And don't suppress that neither. Do not suppress, because you're pure joy. And I really do believe that joy is the most repressed emotion, more so than sadness, because it's actually the only true emotion. The rest are illusions. The only true emotion is joy. Because say you lose a loved one, you cry for them, that's an illusion, because you never lost them. They're not even real. You're not even real. This is an illusion. Death is a cosmic joke. It's an illusion. So that's an illusion, actually. The only true emotion, as far as I'm concerned, as far as Brahman is concerned, is joy. The rest are just illusions. Within the game, you cry for losing your brother, your sister, or something like that. You cry for compassion for all of beings, all of the beings that are suffering. Again, they don't exist. You don't exist. And so, therefore, that's an illusion. That's not a real emotion. but you experience it as it is. You're experiencing yourself as a dream character, and you are playing this role. And like a good actor, a good actor will cry when needed to be cried, will laugh when needs to be laughed, will be angry when needs to be angry, according to the script. You follow your script. You cry when there is a time to cry. You get angry when there's a time to get angry. You laugh when there is a time to laugh. But the only true emotion is joy, and you're going to experience a lot of that if you've done good preparation and you have a good set and setting. So do not repress that. That's known as the cosmic giggle. The only real emotion is joy. That's about it. I want to thank all the Patreons for supporting this channel. I love you guys, and I'm very joyful and happy to have your support. Really, really do. And make sure to check the Patreon feed. I've got lots of things coming up for you guys. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, show your gratitude in that way for some of the videos that I make. Okay, I know a lot of you guys show your gratitude in the comments, and just by liking or by commenting or by watching. And I'm very grateful for that. And if you would like to take it a step further, you could buy me a young Thai coconut for $2 a month. So get off your ass right now, pick up your credit card. It takes 5 minutes. And then I have a young Thai coconut to drink. Okay? So thank you very much. I appreciate the support. If you would like to book a one-on-one consultation to talk about anything, believe it or not, a lot of these consultations revolve around psychedelics. That shouldn't be a surprise. Okay? But of course, anything else if you want to talk about, we could talk about. So you could go to the description as well. Love you guys, and until next time, may the force be with you.